Dim, flickering torchlight barely illuminates the cold, damp stone walls of a medieval dungeon. Chains clink softly in the shadows, and in the distance a muffled scream echoes, carrying a chill through the air. The Middle Ages, a time when darkness reigned supreme, and human life held little to no value. People lived in constant fear of arbitrary punishment, their fates determined by cruel laws and ruthless judges. Whether a person was guilty or innocent mattered little. Confession, the spoken word extracted under duress, was more precious than truth itself. Justice in this era was selective, often twisted and always intertwined with unspeakable suffering. Today we are about to confront the horrifying creations of human ingenuity. The medieval torture devices designed to inflict pain, extract confessions, and assert control over life itself. Brace yourself. At first glance, this journey into the darkest corners of history, small, challenge, almost insignificant, your perception of humanity. Simple metal clamp with a turning screw. But this tiny device was capable of unleashing agony far beyond its size. The victim's fingers, toes, or delicate bones were placed between its crushing jaws. Slowly, relentlessly, the screw twisted downward, grinding bone against iron, splintering joints one crack at a time. The agony shot like lightning through the nerves, forcing screams from even the strongest warriors. Flesh bruised, bones fractured, blood vessels burst under the merciless pressure, and all the while the torturer would calmly ask, "Are you ready to confess?" It was not death this device sought, but obedience. Its real power lay in the fear of what came with the next turn of the screw. Towering over the condemned, the breaking wheel was a monstrous symbol of public terror. The prisoner was stretched across the wheel's spokes, while the executioner swung a heavy iron bar with deliberate precision. First the legs, then the arms. Each strike designed not to kill, but to destroy. Bones snapped loudly under the force, twisted into unnatural shapes while the victim remained fully conscious. After the limbs were shattered, the broken body was woven into the wheel, transformed into a living display of suffering. Placed high for all to see, the unfortunate soul waited for death, from days of thirst, hunger, or even scavenger birds feasting upon them. Justice, they claimed, but terror was the true purpose of the wheel. Crafted like a coffin of cold steel, the Iron Maiden stood as a chilling reminder of human cruelty disguised as invention. The victim was locked inside the narrow chamber, unable to move even an inch. As the heavy iron door closed, rows of sharp spikes pressed into flesh, carefully positioned to pierce vital areas slowly, prolonging life while destroying it. Every breath, every heartbeat drove the spikes deeper. The darkness, the suffocation, and the creeping blood loss broke the mind before the body. Inside the silent metal tomb, time lost all meaning. Only one truth remained. Pain would be the final companion until death arrived. During the era of religious inquisition, salvation was forced through torment. The Inquisition chair, a weapon of faith, was covered from top to bottom with hundreds of iron spikes. Victims were strapped tightly against them, unable to shift their weight without driving the spikes deeper into their skin. Sometimes the chair was heated from below, turning every metal point into a burning needle. The torturers claimed they were saving souls from sin, yet the screams rising from the chair told a very different story. Pain became prayer, and fear became faith. The rack was the master of dislocation and destruction, a machine designed to break the body completely. Wrists and ankles were tied to opposite ends of a wooden frame. Slowly, gears turned and ropes tightened, stretching the victim longer than the human body was ever meant to endure. First, the joints tore apart, shoulders snapping free, hips ripping open. Then the muscles shredded and tendons snapped like violin strings. Many confessed long before their bodies reached the point of no return, but others were pulled until limbs were torn off entirely. The rack didn't just torture the flesh. It erased a person's ability to ever stand, walk, or live without suffering again. Both artistic and monstrous, the Brazen Bull was carved from bronze in the shape of a powerful beast. Inside was a chamber just large enough for a human body. Once the victim was sealed within, a fire was lit beneath the bull's belly, heating the metal from the outside inward. As the temperature rose, the screams inside grew louder, traveling through pipes designed to transform their agony into the roar of a bull. To the crowd outside, it looked like a statue coming alive, fueled by human suffering. This was torture as entertainment, cruelty masked as spectacle. The head crusher used simple mechanics, yet its results were horrifying. The victim's chin rested on a metal plate, while a cap pressed firmly against the skull. With every turn of the screw, pressure increased, squeezing the face inward. Teeth shattered, eyes bulged and sometimes burst. The skull cracked like pottery under a hammer. Yet death was slow, arriving only after unbearable suffering. Those who witnessed the process said it was not the sight, but the sound of breaking bone that haunted their nightmares. In a world blinded by fear and superstition, accusation alone could seal a woman's fate. Bound hand and foot, she was thrown into a river or lake, a test of purity. If she sank, the water accepted her innocence, though she often drowned before being pulled out. If she floated, the water rejected her, and she was declared a witch. The punishment for witchcraft was death by fire, no proof, no mercy. Only judgment fueled by paranoia and hatred. Some tortures did not kill, because survival itself could be the cruelest sentence. Bastinado, for example, targeted the soles of the feet, a place filled with sensitive nerves. Each strike of the rod caused unbearable pain, making even standing impossible for weeks. In the whipping chambers, heavy lashes tore skin open, leaving long scars as reminders of sins, real or imagined. Here, torture served a different purpose: punishment, humiliation, and complete submission to authority. These devices, every screw, spike, and blade, were designed by human hands, created not by monsters, but by people who believed cruelty was necessary, even righteous. History teaches us that when fear rules, humanity falls. Power fueled by suffering is not justice. It is evil wrapped in the disguise of law. As we leave this chamber of horrors, let these memories remain a warning. For only when we remember the darkness of our past can we prevent it from rising again.